Hello, good afternoon, Lisa. How are you today?
I am good. How are you?
I'm really, really good. Thank you so much for allowing me to record this portion of our interview. I am eager to talk a little bit about your recruiting experience that we have already discussed, but we record this portion to share with our clients and the hiring managers that are hiring on some of the positions that we will be submitting you for. So I'd love to just go ahead and get right started. And why don't you tell me about what you were doing? You worked actually a contract assignment with Ronstadt. So tell me a little bit about what you did there.
Absolutely. So I was recruiting for 7-Eleven. We were hiring for cashiers, store workers overnight, and also to work in the restaurants because some of the locations were tied to restaurants. So it was full cycle recruiting. So I did everything from sourcing to setting up interviews with the hiring managers in different regions, and then also offering the position if they got hired, and doing everything prior to them getting handed off to a coordinator to do the background check. So that's what I was doing there with them.
Okay, great. Can you provide an example of a time when you collaborated maybe with the hiring manager or the HR business partners to understand the hiring needs?
Yes, that was that was the extent of my position. I had like 26 different stores, so I had 26 different managers to kind of work with, and they all had different personalities. And even though you may be recruiting for the same position, they may be looking for different things, just depending on location, area, and things of that nature. So I was very organized. So I had to do a lot of organizational skills to kind of make sure I was meeting each hiring manager's needs. But I had a work with them on a daily basis, to be honest with you, because it I had to make sure each store was getting attention. So the best form of communication for me personally was text message. So I would text them on a daily basis what I worked on today, who I spoke with. If I didn't speak to anybody, just kind of give them a heads up, because sometimes some of these stores were short staffed and they were compensating or overcompensating for not having enough people. So
Mhm.
pretty much that was a day-to-day thing for me with multiple different store managers and leaders.
Okay, great. Yes, that's definitely a challenge. I can personally relate to that. Can you tell me about a challenging negotiation that you encountered while trying to close a candidate? It could either be at your position when you worked and did the assignment for Ronstadt, or for a past position that you worked.
Well, the first thing came to mind is when I did timeshare sales. That was always hard negotiation because I'm trying to sell $100,000 product that people didn't intend to come buy. They came to visit me for a free gift. So that was definitely a process. But I had 90 minutes to work on that. So it would be first getting them to like you. So building trust with them is very important. So I was trained on the sales process: trust, need, help, and hurry. You're getting people to trust you. You're creating a need or giving an urgency as to why it's so important to take vacations with your family, especially in this economy. And then kind of going over how they spend their money traveling now and trying to make it make sense for them to own versus rent. So that was a big negotiation for me. It Timeshare or sales is a rejection business. So I think it really prepared me to be even better recruiter, because it's still a sales process. A lot of people don't understand recruiting is still sales. But it was every day I had a negotiation, and every day wasn't a sell, but I had, numbers to meet. So as long as I was closing 2 to 3 out of 10 tours that I was taking, I was doing really well. And I did very well
Sure.
doing that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is a great analogy. I never realized that when I first started with Ronstadt as well, that, you're selling a job to a candidate, and vice versa, candidates to the hiring managers. You have to really look at all of those, the pieces of the puzzle to make a good match. So definitely a very good connection there.
Yeah.
So, in your view, what elements would make like a seamless candidate experience?
What elements?
Hmm.
Asking me what elements like a candidate may have, or
Well, what do you, in your thoughts, what would make a seamless experience? Like you as being my candidate, like what can I do to make this a seamless process for you, the candidate that's applying for a position?
For me,
Like, what can the recruiter do?
that's a great question. I've never been asked that.
Thank
That's a
you.
good question.
Oh, well, there you go.
It's so important because the experience is so important, especially in this market, right? So I think the recruiter who represents the company, it has to be organized, right? It has to be organized, and there has to be an open flow of communication. That's
There.
so important because there's so much opportunity out there. And in this unsure market, I think you can tell companies and recruiters who are organized, who follow through. It's a follow through process. It's communicating the intent, following through, and being open enough to get that kind of feedback. For me, would be a seamless process for people who
Okay.
are looking. Yeah.
Well, you aced that question. So thank you. Well, I'm going to go ahead and stop this
Okay.
portion of the interview, but don't hang up because we've got a few more things to chat
I
about. Thank you.